Good evening, Pirates. You're watching WHOV-TV. We are your voice keeping you updated on all the noise. I'm Kennedy Sclaes. Tonight, we begin our show with a special guest that is no stranger to Hampton University and all it has to offer. From an alumnus to a fire chief to a member of the city council, he sure does let his life do the singing. The new mayor-elect of Hampton, Virginia, Jimmy Gray. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Good. Thank you for having me.
It is so wonderful to have you here today. Now, before we get started, this would not be a Thanksgiving show without saying Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Do you have any plans for this year?
We normally host Thanksgiving dinner at my house right here in Hampton with my family. We have family both here in Hampton as well as over on the south side. So we're the gathering spot at Thanksgiving for family and friends. Yeah.
All right. And tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about Jimmy Gray. Tell us about your childhood and how was your experience here at Hampton?
Okay, well, I mean, I got to go back a long ways to do all of that, but grew up on the south side in Portsmouth, graduated from Portsmouth Catholic High School there, played basketball on the high school basketball team, and you know, had a great childhood, great friends that you know, I'm still friends with today. And so I have lived in the Hampton Roads region. I consider myself a regional person because I, you know, grew up in Portsmouth. I lived in Norfolk for 10 years. I worked in the fire service in Chesapeake for 26 years. And so, you know, those experiences, you know, have kind of given me a real feel for what the entire region is and, you know, the good things that exist in many of the cities around the region. So that kind of shaped my experiences and it really helps me today as a council member too.
That sounds good. And so, do you have any plans for the city of Hampton, and do you have any plans for Hampton University?
Well, let me start with the city of Hampton. You know, first of all, you know, I'm grateful to citizens of Hampton to have elected me for the fourth time, and the fourth time being for mayor. So, you know, I started my council journey back in 2016, and so I've, you know, have been elected several times, and so I've served as the vice mayor for the past 6 years, and so that allowed me to work very closely with the mayor, our outgoing mayor, Donnie Tuck. And so I work inside city government as well. I was an assistant city manager and a fire chief, so I understand the operations and, you know, internal policies and programs of the city, and so that was very helpful to me in my transition to city council. But going forward, you know, our great city has so much to offer in the region, and you know, what my vision is that Hampton will be the city of choice for living well, for families, culture, recreation, education, et cetera. And so, you know, we just want to provide a great experience. And so, you know, when I think about Hampton University, I mean, this university has a long history of providing education to students who now live all over the country and beyond. And so we want them, when they leave and complete their experience here, to be able to tell a good story about being here in Hampton, Virginia. So I look forward to working with President Williams and the staff here to just really provide a great experience for Hampton University students.
Well, great. And speaking of Hampton University, so there was a redevelopment issue at one point where it came to the cost of our historical landmarks here on campus. There was going to be some expansion that would interfere with our Emancipation Oak.
Yes. And
my question for you as an alum, how will you balance the presentation of the campus and the history here on campus?
Well, I mean, you know, again, as I mentioned, you know, Hampton University has a wonderful history and has been a part of this community for many years. And you know, the historical significance of what the university represents, not only to just Hampton, but to the entire country, is important that we preserve that. You know, if you look at my 6 platforms or 6 priorities that I ran on, preserving and elevating Hampton's history was one of those. And so, you know, that includes the you know, Hampton University history and what it means to not only again, as I mentioned, Hampton, but to just really to the entire world. And so, you know, Hampton University is one of the stops on our Black History Tour, African American History Tour, when visitors come to Hampton. And you know, tourism is one of our economic pillars, so certainly Hampton University plays a huge role in that.
Yes. And so we're here on campus with a whole bunch of college students.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a really fun question here. So what is some advice, what are some tips or ideas you can think for college students here at Hampton to enjoy while being here? I know you mentioned before you don't have to go all the way to Virginia Beach to have fun. You can be right here and have fun. So how did you have fun when you were here?
Yes, indeed. Well, you know, I didn't have the traditional college experience of as a young student right out of high school, I came to Hampton University as a working adult, working my way through a career in the fire service. But I would think now, as the mayor and a council member and one who wants people to have a good experience in our city, I would encourage all the students to come off campus, enjoy the city. I think there's a shuttle that runs from the university and takes you to important places like the drugstore and Walmart and the town center and places like that. So, come off of campus and enjoy. But also, there's some great amenities in the entire region. And, I would say there's some, great students who are going to graduate from our university, you included, next year. And so, I'm a member of the Hampton Roads Workforce Council. I represent the city of Hampton on that. And one of our conversations and discussions is how do we keep the talent that exists here in this region right here to fill the in-demand jobs that are available in the region. So we want you to come off and see what's available, see what opportunities exist, and hopefully you'll consider taking advantage of them. But my role is to make sure you become as aware of those opportunities as you can and share that information with your fellow students.
All right, yes. And so I guess another question for you would be, what would you say to yourself, young Jimmy Gray? What would you tell yourself? And what's the advice that you would give to students who are interested in being a political figure just like you?
Well, I didn't have an interest in politics early in life. It was something that through various experiences in the fire service and in assistant city management that really kind of piqued my interest in the political side and policy making as a council member. And so, we need new, bright people, fresh ideas to really help our cities and to evolve. And so I would encourage students to come and experience what Hampton City Council does, be involved and engage in the elections and what they mean to not only the community, but to our entire country, and dream big. There's a big world out here, and it's yours to to conquer and make as much as you can out of it. So I would encourage every student to do that.
Well, great. And thank you so much for coming out today and speaking to us. Unfortunately, time flies. We're having fun, right?
Yes.
Well, hopefully we can have some more conversations.
We certainly can.
But truly appreciate you coming out and talking to us, Mayor Jimmy Gray.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.